published 0647 Est, the 8th of January 2018, updated 0653 Est, the 8th of January 2018. On Monday evening, the revolution will be televised. And then, one must assume, it will be studied, pored over and endlessly repeated to ensure that it was in fact a revolution. When Brighton face Crystal Palace in the FA Cup, the video assistant referee system will make its long-awaited debut in English club football. Any major officiating mistakes will be able to be reviewed and overturned. Football will be fairer. A new age of justice will dawn. After all, what could possibly go wrong? Quite a lot, as it turns out. Just ask the Germans. For while the British eagerly await the introduction of VAR, many in Germany are already sick to the back teeth of it. Video assistant referee VAR technology will be used in the FA Cup clash between Brighton hove Albion and Crystal Palace on Monday, but it has been in operation in Germany all season. Many fans in the Bundesliga are already tired of VAR, partly due to the long delays it causes in England. The system has only been trialled once, going unused in last year's friendly against Germany at Wembley. The Bundesliga, meanwhile, began its VAR adventure at the beginning of this season. The 6 months since have been little short of calamitous. Long breaks in play, technical problems and confusion over the rules are just the half of it. The new system has plunged the German FA and League Association into a significant image crisis, and even seen a top official sacked over accusations of using the system to favour his home team. Having been widely accepted as a positive development back in the summer, VAR is now subject to ever-growing criticism in Germany. I was full of positive curiosity about it at the start of the season, Bayer Leverkusen sporting director Rudi Völler told Sky last month. Now, after half a season, my verdict on it is not good. And I doubt it is going to get any better. Völler is not alone. Bernd Leno, Max Eberl and Christian Streich are among those who have also voiced strong criticisms of the system. That is a far cry from the promises of VAR project manager Hellmut Krug back in the summer, who claimed that nobody will have reason to complain about refereeing decisions. If it works as we imagine it will, we will be spared minor refereeing mistakes, a smiling Krug told ARD in July. The problem is, almost nothing has worked as anyone imagined it would. Just a few months later, Krug would be relieved of his position under suspicion that he, as supervisor, had influenced video assistant referees to intervene to the benefit of Schalke, his hometown club. His sacking was the climactic moment in VAR's disastrous first 6 months. VAR project manager Hellmut Krug claimed that technology would improve German football, but Krug soon left his role amid allegations that he had influenced the video assistant referee to intervene to the benefit of his hometown club Schalke in a 11 draw with Wolfsburg last year. Even from the very first weekend of the season, there were problems. At several stadiums, technological issues rendered the system unusable when it was used. Meanwhile, its limitations were immediately exposed. The first VAR decision of the season came when Bayern Munich were awarded a penalty against Bayer Leverkusen. Robert Lewandowski went down in the box under light contact from Charles Aranguiz. A swiftly made decision, but also one which was open to interpretation. Aranguiz had made contact, but Lewandowski's theatrical fall cast doubt upon whether he was truly impeded. It was the sort of call that can go either way, and that nobody envies the referee having to make. Above all, the video replay didn't separate black from white, it simply highlighted the shades of grey. There were worse examples as the season wore on. There were issues with the VAR in Week 1 when Bayern Munich got a controversial penalty. Robert Lewandowski fell theatrically when challenged by Bayer Leverkusen's Charles Aranguiz in October. Freiburg's Kagler Soyuncu was sent off for a handball as the last defender. Once again, it was up for dispute whether he had denied a clear goal-scoring opportunity. Even the referee admitted after the game that there were arguments for both red and yellow. Soyuncu and Lewandowski expose the fundamental problem with VAR. Even if we must accept modern football's self-important quest for absolute on-field justice, the sad truth is that video referrals are often not definitive. If a decision is open to interpretation, as many in football are, it will remain so no matter how many times you rewatch it. As that realization has crept into the collective psyche of the Bundesliga, frustration at the long breaks in play and other inconveniences have only grown greater. After all, what is the point of what Völler describes as an extreme atmosphere killer if it doesn't even make the game fairer? Most toxic of all, though, has been the handling and communication of the system by the authorities. The video assistant referees, who watch games from an office in Cologne, were initially intended to intervene only when a clear and serious mistake has been made by the on-field official. In practice, not even the referees themselves have seemed to know when a decision should be taken upstairs or not. In general, VAR has been used upon much more, and differently, than many expected. The decision went against everything I was told in the workshop about how VAR would work, moaned Freiburg's sporting director Jochen Seyer, before sarcastically congratulating the authorities in Cologne. Referee Tobias Stieler sent off Freiburg defender Kagler Soyuncu after consulting the VAR. Krug and his colleagues had spent months preparing officials, clubs and journalists in the build-up to VAR's introduction. The sheer scale of unclarity about how the system worked exposed how purely the whole thing had been communicated. To make it worse, in October, Krug sent a letter to all clubs explaining that the powers of the video assistant were to be extended with immediate effect. Within weeks, the Soyuncu decision had caused outrage. Krug had been accused of unfairly helping out Schalke, and the DFB had retracted Krug's letter and relieved him of his duties. Week by week, it has become harder to argue that VAR is a good way of minimizing mistakes, wrote the Spiegel. The way it has been used in practice, one almost has the impression that this is all a conscious ploy to discredit VAR. So much for making the game fairer and eradicating cause for complaint. The system has not only led to more moaning than ever, it has sparked a minor crisis of confidence in the organizations which run German football. Most still blame those organizations, rather than VAR itself. A recent survey has indicated that a majority of German football fans are still in favor of the system, but their faith has undoubtedly been shaken by a disastrous first few months. So while football celebrates its brave march towards absolute justice at the Amex Arena on Monday, England should not get too excited. VAR, like all revolutions, may not quite live up to its promise.